What up? You know, I was thinking as we were doing this, we have got to fix that fade in there so that it fades out and then we just come back in.
We can do that.
We need to do that. So between now and next show,
yeah,
David is going to work on that.
I'm going to work on. You're volunteering me.
Aren't you an IT specialist?
Yeah, I am, and I can probably, but
I mean, you've been talking all high guard about that.
I kind of don't feel like it.
That's the IT
I'm being
guy.
real honest. Like I said, I'm still getting work notifications. I've got, because our company runs two shifts. Like our second shift ends at 1 a.m. Right. I will get tickets from second shift people. So I can work on my job all day long. And when I come in tomorrow, I've got more work, new work waiting for me on top of all the other work that's already there. It is insane. So I'm not real big on taking extra projects on. Oh, he's in the comments. Look at that. There he is. Yo, Daniel Barry.
Now, I'm wondering about that because he's watching it on YouTube. I wonder if on YouTube it doesn't show the views like we have here because it shows 0 right now. And I wonder if that's just Facebook views. That's weird.
Maybe. I don't know. Although there was a weird thing that happened. It did not want to post to Facebook when I originally created the show. So there may be a technical kerfuffle there. Or I don't know.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I know.
The last time I heard it was by a very butch lesbian. Anyhow, guys, we're here on the show today. And I need you to smash the subscribe button, notifications, turn on the bells. Make a comment. If you have any hate, send it to David.
You should.
You should. And we'll read it. You know what? We should start doing that, reading that on air.
Reading the hate mail directed towards me?
Or on anybody.
Okay.
Like for example, like it's not going to be anything about me because I'm pretty much perfect. But the rest of the world, there could be some stuff, right?
He's the most humble. He even took a test to prove it. Anyway. What are you guys drinking tonight?
So I'll start. I'm sorry. I just jumped straight into it. I'm like,
hey.
For my favorite liquor store, I got Shell got me a bottle of the Stag. This is a 138.8 proof. This is a store pick, and it is fantastic.
That is a ball of fire. 138.
No. 131.8.
Oh, 131.8. It's still pretty hot.
Still pretty hot, but it doesn't taste hot. It does not taste hot. So vintage, I really like vintage. So those of you guys who don't know where vintage is, it's in Mount Juliet. I don't get the chance to go out there often. It's what's funny is it's right there where it's further away from Jay, pretty close to Jeff. What?
I was about to say, isn't that right by where Jeff lives?
Yeah, it's right by where Jeff lives.
Yeah,
off of Lebanon Road, and it is. And Thomas goes up there a lot too. It's freaking fantastic. They do all the store picks with mostly the staff and some of their urban. They have a bourbon club, and they do it that way. And so they pick a bottle, or they go to a barrel pick, and they do a barrel picking and. Dude, their bottles, I put them right there with Tarek over at in Spring Hill. I mean, they are on fire. They have got it down to a science of how to pick them well, and they got a good group that's picking with them. And by the way, I need to send Tarek a message because he's going to let me go with them when they go to Bardstown to do their barrel selection. So
nice. Oh yeah,
very nice.
We're really working on our relationship.
There you go. That's good. I'm glad. Yeah, you're getting a little bit more out of the molestation.
No, he still pushes stuff on me. Like when I walked in there Friday, my cleaners were here, so I went and got breakfast, and then right after I got breakfast, I decided to drive down to the liquor store. Now, I don't want to make it sound like I was there at like 9 o'clock. That's not true. I was there at like 10:05, and I walked in. He's like, "Hey, I've been waiting on you. I got something you need to try." I'm like, all right. So I tried it. And he goes, what do you think of it? It's a 135. It was a solid pour. And I forgot what it was called, but it was actually a rye. And it was really good. And he knows I don't like ryes. Oh. And it was a solid rye pour. And I was like, you got me there. I almost bought it. But I did buy a bunch of other stuff that he hooked up for me,
Nice.
So
good shit.
And I tried to buy from him because, the last time I was there when he had highly coveted bottle. He offered it to me, and I already had one that I got from Vintage, so I wasn't gonna fight it. But anyway,
Good stuff.
yeah. So that's what I'm drinking tonight. It's really good. I'm having that now. I'm not gonna drink it all. Then I'll have some rare as my backup for sure.
Good times.
There you
Good
go.
times. Can't go wrong with Eagle Rare.
So for me, before I tell you guys what I'm drinking, I don't think we need to have a special day to do this because I don't think as a nation we do it enough. But I just want to say thank you to all the servicemen and women out there, past and present, who have made the honorable choice to serve our country.
All
We
right, I
don't
will
thank
raise
you
a glass
guys
to that.
enough.
Yeah.
That was one of the things
that.
I said in that Facebook post. Is I was like, I have the permanent disabilities that I will be
Right.
living with the rest of my life because of that.
So, well,
So-
and you know, we'll tell you guys about the post maybe some other time, but we don't want to get on that side too much. But
Mhm.
again, to all the servicemen and women, past and
Mhm.
present, who've made that ultimate sacrifice for this country, I am forever in your debt.
There you go.
Good
Hey,
evening,
Jen,
Jen.
what's up? And
Hey, Jen.
I'm one step ahead of Jody. I am actually having the Eagle Rare tonight myself.
Very nice.
This is a good pour, kind of taking a little celebratory drink. The wife had meniscus surgery today that went extremely well. She's recovering and resting, and she should be back on her feet 100% in about 2 or 3 weeks.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So, all right. So I'm gonna tell you. So that's how I told you that. I sent that in a message to you. That's how my that was my first of my knee surgeries was meniscus, and then they had to do a total reconstruction. Now the difference between probably myself and Kay is the doctor was like, "Hey man, you should be good to go in 6 weeks." 4 weeks later, I'm freaking hammering it down and this, that, and whatever. I feel like I got a great knee. And then I was in a competition. It collapsed on me, and I had to have total. I finished the competition, by the way, but I had to have total knee reconstruction. And then I was in a hip I can't speak, immobilizer. Don't touch my hip. Hey, have you guys seen those? It's so funny. Those it's on Instagram. Those Down syndrome songs and stuff like that.
Oh my god.
No,
Oh my
I don't know.
You've sent me some shit though in Messenger, the Instagram messaging, whatever, and I did laugh. I can't deny it.
Yeah, all the stuff he sends us is funny.
Yeah.
Well, except for the poetic. When I see, it's Patriot something or other, I go, oh, here we go. There's always, it is what it is. I see him, but I ignore him. I stick with the funny stuff. But
anyway, the guy. So yeah. So I was in a hip oh my god, I got right back to it. Immobilizer again. And so
she is laughing at you.
Yeah, I know. But immobilizer, and the I had to be in that for 12 weeks, and I was like, well, I can still do things on one leg. And I remember going to the gym and was like, well, I can still do handstand push-ups and stuff. And so I would do handstand push-ups, and I have on this hip immobilizer. And I'd have to shoot myself up, and then people were going, this guy's not even supposed to be doing this. And I was like, I can still do some chest workouts, still do lats and all this stuff. And that's how it went for like 12 weeks. And it's like Superman knee, but now the problem is it's been almost 10 years. Wait a minute. It has been 10 years. It's 12 years now. I think I'm at the point where it's going to be replaced. So tell her not to do any of the stupid stuff I did.
No. She will be partying it up on the couch for the next at least 2 weeks before.
That's good.
Then we'll kick in with the physical therapy. But no, she's
good.
condemned to the couch, which is great for her because there's no cooking, there's no cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
She gets to literally just sit on the couch and
sit pretty.
Have me. So I'm digging it though.
That's nice. Good. That's good. Well, we wish her a hang on a second. So I think she's talking about you, Jody. That you're half metal.
I wouldn't say half. I do have a lot of. The funniest thing. So the funniest thing right now that happens to me is, I know we've talked about it in the after show, and maybe I've hinted around to it. So I'm just going to explain it to you guys, and maybe this is the first time I'm coming out about it. But I had what we call a hydrocele. All right, and it's where one of your balls is bigger than the other one, and so I remember going to the doctor, and it was this little chubby white woman, and she grabs it, and so does this little black woman both of them are doctors, and they're like, you got to see this. Like, they're both like, let's compare this. And I'm like, man, I feel uncomfortable as hell. Like I'm just standing in your office. You just both of y'all just got your hands on my balls, and like this. And I'm like, I mean, that's
You mean like this?
well, it did hang. I mean, it was bigger than a bull ball. But anyway, so they're like, you need to wear like a jock strap to help suck it in. I'm like, it doesn't work. Like you can push on a bunch of mush and it's still gonna show like a bulge in it. And I teach and stuff. And one thing I want to do, and definitely in front of people, is have people staring at my shit, you know? Because I like to walk around when I'm talking. I don't like to just stand by the lecturer, right? Anyway, they said it was the size of a mango. It was. But anyway, so I had it removed, not the ball, just the hydrocele. It's all in functional order now. But anyway, I had it removed. And for whatever reason now, I cannot go through any type of metal detector without getting wand for my balls.
What's in there?
I don't know. I don't know.
Something in when they took it
I'm
out?
like, you guys leave some metal in there? What's going on?
So here's the real question. When you look at your chart, does it say AKA Biggie Smalls?
Maybe.
Oh, come on, bro. I couldn't resist. You know, I got to get you.
Oh, no, I'm totally cool. I'm totally cool with it.
Biggie Smalls. That's where you change your name to on here.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It was pretty cool, the novelty initially. Like, it was like when I get undressed, they ain't nobody got a bigger ball than me. Yeah.
Bigger ball.
Yeah. Like I look, I'm ready to just pump something, right? So, like, it's ready to go. But then, like, after a year or two, you're like, I could really do without all this. Dude, move your cell phone, David, because it's vibrating.
Oh, it probably is. Yeah, my fucking Teams is still blowing up. I'm just going to set this shit on the floor. All right. Jen, I've got big balls. He's got big balls, but Jody has the biggest balls.
AC/DC.
Biggest ball of them all. There you go. That's perfect.
It's from AC/DC.
I know what it's from.
Well, I just make sure.
That sounds great. Anyway.
What are you drinking? What are you drinking, David?
I've actually, I've got a little Heaven Hill bottle of mine.
A little Heaven Hill.
Yeah, I showed up with it.
I
At
see.
the little liquor store in Laverne. They just had it on the shelf.
I'm just glad to see that you made the show today and you responded, because I was like, man, I was worried about y'all weekend.
You worried about me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll wait till the after show.
Yeah.
The liquor store got David to spend more than $25.
Yeah, they did. Well, they had that. And
that's not from my collection that I gave him.
Yeah, that's not from Jody. I found that shit myself. I found that in a Elijah Craig toasted barrel on the shelf at this liquor store.
Nice.
And I was like, I should have not come in here. I was with my coworker at the time, and I was like, dude, you should not have let me come in here.
So
they had more stuff in there.
Are you guys still having trouble finding the Heaven Hill 7-year?
I'm not anymore. It's kind of like Elijah Craig toasted. We can find those pretty much everywhere now. They're being allocated more towards our area, and they're not being sold at crazy ass prices.
Okay, because it's
wild. I think it's about $45-$46 for.
Same here, but it's everywhere. I guarantee you can find it at like in the hood at the gas station. It's everywhere. Publix has it.
Dude,
this one I got. Yeah, I got this one.
A couple drunks and some plastic bottle guys and a couple black folks that come in there, and they are not going to my section.
That's too funny.
I just have to brush the dust off of it.
That's it.
I was worried about selection in places like that though, because they usually don't have much. Like
they sell. That's the thing. They actually hit their allocated. They actually hit their allocated. They hit the allocated components. Like they sell a lot of vodka at those places. So they're selling a crap ton of Wheatley's vodka and all that. So they're hitting all their allocations.
That makes sense.
So if you have like a sketchy part of town that has, and then you find a liquor store with bars on it, go in that one.
I promise you they have it, and they have no idea what it is.
Yep.
But I can tell you this: they sell more Fireball, vodka, whatever they want to sell. Hennessy. Mm-hmm. When they tell you, and listen, I love my hood stores.
I do too.
For whatever reason, they know what they're doing when it comes to marketing. Because man, oh man. Because I can tell you this. Total Wines does not move Hennessy. But like Ethan and Earl's in the hood.
Right.
Oh God. I mean, it's a mountain when you walk in there.
Yeah, I remember those
That's their
little
display.
ratty liquor stores in Columbia. There's a bunch of them around.
I know.
Yeah.
The
And
the only one that's close by that, let me put it different. Tony's is close by, but it's owned by a Patel, and he's gotten kind of caught into like, wait a minute, why are these people coming in there? So he's starting to like, he had Eagle Rare. I'm sorry, he had.
Yeah, the Patels are going to know what it's worth. Is the
Well, they
problem.
didn't initially. I used to go in there
Yeah.
and find everything cheap as hell.
Yeah.
Now they've got GTS in there for $8.99, and I'm like, come on, dude. Why don't you sell it to me the pre-price before you did all this crazy knock-up on it?
Yeah.
You know, but around here, the ones that people don't think about are the ones off of what's that road called? Camel. James Campbell Boulevard over.
Yeah, not Campbell. James Campbell. Yeah.
James Campbell Boulevard.
I was like, Camel? What the
named
fuck?
after our buddy that we were talking about in the pre-show.
Yeah.
It's his grandfather, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds right. Somebody in his family.
Yeah, because his dad, I think, is a legislator too. So, but anyway, and I just found out recently he has donkeys, so we should be besties, but we're not. But anyway,
you'll work on it. He'll come around, I'm sure.
What's the topic tonight, gentlemen?
Right. So the topic tonight,
professional drinks,
drinking like professionals, because the three of us professionals are planning a little trip away to the beach together. And I was thinking like that could be like 4 or 5 plus days hanging out with these two. I'm like, I need to think of strategies so that I can survive this, right? Like in terms of what I can expect.
Well, both of you guys, if we're going to do this, both of you guys will get a queen size bed. So that's good. Y'all both have that.
That will definitely help.
No, 100%.
And the two of you guys will have your own bathroom. I will have my own bathroom too, and I'll only have queen size bed as well because it used to have a king in there, but it's just too big for a condo. Yeah,
the amenities I'm not worried about. I think it's gonna be great regardless. Like that's not the thing that has me a little bit, ponderous. What I was thinking about is like being able to hang in terms of alcohol consumption, because like I am not, I drink, I guess, somewhat regularly, but like not a heavy drinker. Like I don't go out and drink all day, habitually or anything like that. So it's like, I'm not saying you guys do necessarily, but like I know you guys know how to have your days where you throw them back.
Yeah, that's not true. Every time you've been over here, not every time, but there's been numerous times where I'm like, "Are you sure you're safe to drive?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, I got it." And I'm like, "I'm watching."
And I wasn't, and I know that. Yeah, we can be with this. I don't have to worry about going anywhere. What I don't want to do is wake up feeling like absolute shit the next.
Hey, we're taking our aquatic black. We are good. We got all of us can swim.
So in terms of strategies for people who are planning. Other people who are planning, a day at the beach or, by the pool or at the lake where they know they're going to be drinking all day. What are the ways somebody would prepare themselves?
Hydrate.
Physiologically, so that they don't have a lot of regrets.
So it's funny you bring this up. Like, wow, I wouldn't be drinking all day. There's been numerous times I've been down there with my mom and the boys. And she's like, are you opening up a drink at 10 o'clock? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, why? I'm like, I'm fucking on vacation. Like,
exactly.
Well, I don't say it like that because it's my mom, but I'm like, I'm on vacation, Mom. Don't worry about me. I'm good. And what I do is I get one of those Cafe 305
nice
tumblers, and I fill it up with a little bit more than you should of alcohol because I want to go sit on the beach for a while. And then I keep it in this. And if anybody asks what it is, I'm like, it's water. Like, I pour my water. I don't like to drink out of my black water bottle, so I pour it in here and then I drink water. Because you're not supposed to have any open containers on the beach, which I have never abided by that rule.
Yeah.
And I will say this. So in the times where my days start like 1 o'clock in the morning, immediately after I load the smoker and light the fire, I crack a beer and a cigar. And on not even a rare occasion, but depending on the mood I'm in, oh yeah, it'll be some Eagle Rare, some 7-year bottle and bond. I listen. I'm not going anywhere for the next 12 hours, so I'm finna live it up.
If I got 12 hours, I'm taking a gummy and that.
Yeah,
because I've gotten where I do like the gummies. They are so good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a stupid high that just feels great.
So
Good. Enjoy it.
yeah, for
But
sure.
yeah, but to the point of like, if you're going to be doing this for multiple days or whatever, there's one thing, tolerance. Obviously, the more time you spent in your life that we have as adults, going out and drinking for an extended period of time, you want to pace yourself and things like that. But like, there's no substitute for experience, right? And building that tolerance to alcohol versus someone who's not going to necessarily be ready. Like, what advice would you give somebody who's
there's several things. Like if you're going on a beach trip, that would be one of the first things I would start with is that go to like Tweakers, which is in Panama City, which we will be hitting, and pick up some
Tweakers.
Yeah, and pick up some. They have great store picks, and pick up some good bourbon and stuff like that. Here's the reason why I say that is like a lot of people want to do all the stuff that are, touristy, right? They want to go to all the bars and all this stuff.
Yeah,
which is fine. But you're going to drink probably some well drinks or something shitty. And then you're going to end up with the worst hangover you ever had, where you can drink something amongst friends that you like, that your bodies can tolerate with the endless amount of water that you can possibly drink too, right? And so here's another thing that I found recently too that helps me is if I not peel orange, but slice up orange slices.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm going to have a heavy day of drinking, and I shouldn't say heavy, if I'm having more than 3, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
I'll sit there and take some orange with it, and I'll take a couple of orange slices and eat those. And I don't know if it's the vitamin C. I don't know what it is that does it, but for some reason that really helps me prevent from a hangover.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't
also
know.
Like oranges are a little bit caloric too, so it's like.
Yeah,
for a fruit, you know what I mean? It kind of helps with the absorption and all that stuff, and it hydrates.
So, and for me, what I would tell somebody who's going to be hanging out with other people who are more of drinkers, if you will, if that's a thing, know your limits is a big deal. Just because other people in the group are drinking doesn't mean you have to try to keep up, if you will.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A lot of times if you're feeling really, really good, for me as a professional, that's a sign that you're right where you need to be at.
Everything Billy just told you is bullshit. I watched him on my back porch, and both of us were almost damn near sleeping in the same chair on the back.
I know, that's before I even saw y'all. Like that's
okay, but listen, I was.
You guys fucking rallied when I showed up too. So like,
listen, I was in a very comfortable environment.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was gonna end up somewhere or with some jury I didn't ask for.
It wasn't a bad time. It was a good time. He got to relax.
It was a great time.
It was the only thing he said was, "It goes, you know what? I ain't walking this neighborhood, and I don't live in the neighborhood, but walking down this street in the middle of the night, I'm not doing it either as a white guy. So I mean, it has nothing to do with race.
Yeah, you'll get eaten by a mountain lion.
If I had to give somebody advice, if you're with some people who are more experienced drinkers, just know your limits. If you're feeling nice, you're feeling good, you're enjoying the vibe, and that's where you want to stay, stop drinking. At least give yourself some time to recover from where you're at. If your buzz wears off a little bit, then you can go back in for a little bit more if you want. What I would do, or what I would recommend, is you not mix. If you're going to do bourbon and whiskey and scotch, cool. But I would not do those. Like vodka, rum, bourbon. I wouldn't do that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Definitely don't put tequila in there.
Yeah, exactly. So
if you're gonna drink tequila, get some $100 tequila and drink that the entire time.
Yeah. So as the college kids like to say, don't mix your brown and your white.
Unless you swing that way, then you can just.
There you go.
You like to tag.
I mean, this coming from a guy who had the worst threesome in a doctor's office.
I did, but it was both. It was both the colors.
But here's the thing: he got 2 women to spill on his balls and didn't get laid. I mean, come on. If that's
I didn't even get arousal. Neither one of them. I mean, to be honest with you, if I had to look at it in this perspective, the one that was within the weight status,
nobody wants
black
you to.
Lady, but at the same time, she was like talking to me all technical about this ball thing, and I was like, well, I mean, and she had nicer hands, but But I didn't like either one of them sitting there, grabbing on it and pulling on it and pushing on it. I'm like, hey, what are we doing? Have we not figured out what it is? Everybody knows what this is. Why can't we? Let's just talk about what we're going to do.
That's so funny.
Oh,
But anyway,
Yeah, that was a female, male, female.
he's just off
adventure.
to the races.
Yeah.
What'd you say? I'm a soft.
I said you're off to the races with this one.
I thought you said I'm a soft type of racist. I'm like, just because I didn't get aroused.
You hear what you want to hear sometimes too, I think. But
where did he get that from?
I don't know, man. I wasn't going there at all. But anyway, I was gonna say in terms of like, I guess my 2 cents or whatever is one. You already said it. Hydrate all the time. And again, to go off the other thing that you said is like, don't try to hang with people you can't. Like,
Correct.
I know people that can go, way the fuck harder on alcohol. Like, I want to try and keep pace with you. In fact, my friend Steven, who I am talking to, like every time I know he can drink me under the table any day of the week. And he always, I'm going to be done drinking. He's always pushing shots at me and shit like that. I'm like, good.
That's another thing.
I want to go to a bad
shots.
place. Yeah,
No.
shots are terrible. Don't do that shit.
Don't do that. Or Jello shooters. That's just stupid.
I'm all about rolling a buzz. You get to that nice level. You're feeling
And then
relaxed,
stay there.
feeling good.
Yeah.
You
And
stay
just stay
there.
there.
You have
Yeah.
another drink in an hour, but you maintain it and you feel good. Make sure you eat.
Probably a good rule of thumb is if you can still rub one out, you're in a really good state.
There you go. And I will say this. So
if you get in there and you're not sure who you're with, that's a problem.
Yeah, you made there. at that point.
So I have my really true and dear friend Josh. He is what's the nice
I've
way to
seen
put it?
pictures of you guys before.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
So he and I get together at least once a week, and we really just hammer him down. But when it comes to beer, I kid you not, he can do 24 beers by himself and be perfectly fine.
Sure.
I
Well,
do
that's
6.
Steven, to be honest with you. Steven can do that too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you give Steven alcohol, he's like,
Yeah, if you give Josh bourbon 2 shots, he's done. Not even shots. Like you give him 2 of these, he's done.
Yeah.
But
It's a
like
whole
24
different thing.
beers is no problem.
see,
But
and
me?
if I get 24 beers, like first of all, I don't even want to fathom that because I think beer outside of Guinness and anything that's a dark beer,
Yeah.
stout, anything outside of that, and every one of those is a pork chop in a bottle, So outside of those, I can't even fathom how bread filling I would feel.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like
That's the one thing about beer, how bloated I feel after drinking. And that's the thing too, is like
all
on
the
a hot
bubbles.
take, we're going to be on the beach. It's going to be warm out. I don't know what the expected temperature is going to be. I'm hoping it's going to be warm enough we can, actually go to the ocean and like be in the water and shit like that. But regardless of the fact,
we got our aquatic black with us. We're good.
cool. But I don't like the cold. I'm not going to swim if it's cold. But anyway,
You're a pussy. Me and the aquatic black.
sure, I'm a pussy. I don't like the cold water. You're damn right. Call it whatever. But I don't like it.
Never go to California because it only changes 2 degrees throughout the year. It'll go from 58 to 56.
Yeah,
degrees.
fuck that. No, nope, I'm out. But anyway, what the fuck was I gonna say? So yeah, hopefully it's gonna be warm. But on a warm day, the idea of drinking liquor all day long versus a beer or like this ranch water shit and like the Trulies and other things like the Celsius is that one of them? I can't remember.
I don't know, but it's funny about the Trulies.
Yeah,
Jordan loves the Trulies, and he has to do it.
I know a lot of people do that. They do like lake trips and things like that. They want to drink that shit all
And
day long.
I took a picture of him. I was sitting beside him. We were sitting in a bar, and he ordered a Truly, and I ordered a double of.
You ordered an alcohol.
And I took a picture of him. I said, "This is going to be your grinder post."
That's funny.
I said, "I don't know which way you're supposed
Well,
to
like for real, like I don't necessarily like that stuff, but at the same time, if I'm going to be drinking and I know I'm going to be drinking for hours, do I really want to do that on a hot beach?
I do. I'll be honest with you. If I'm sitting on the beach, this is what I do every time. So if I'm sitting on the beach, this is how I roll on the beach. If I'm going to the beach, I am going to fix bourbon into my tumbler, Cafe 305 tumbler, and that's how I'm going to roll. All right, that's what I do. And I put ice in there.
I've already decided.
Rum
It's
is
gotta be
fine.
rum
I don't
for me.
have any rum at my house. You're going to have to bring that.
Yeah, or we'll go to that place and get
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Tweakers. Yeah.
Tweakers. We'll go to Tweakers and we'll do a little liquor store run. If we're flying, then that's pretty much the option anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can tell you guys this: 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to end up flying. But regardless, I am bringing for sure a full brisket and probably some ribs. So we're going to eat good.
Shit.
I like this.
I'm so ready.
We have
Ready
all the
for
stuff
it.
there.
Do we just need to go to the after show night right now? Guys, fuck this. We're trying to play.
And it'll be fully cooked, so
Mm.
nobody's going to have to work. We're going to slice, dice, and eat. That's it.
Wait a minute. You had this thought that we were going to work with you?
Oh, no. I knew you wasn't. That's why I'm bringing a fully cooked brisket and
Yeah.
a couple of slabs of fully cooked ribs.
Present Billy is trying to take care of future all of us.
Oh, and I appreciate that.
So future all of us should be appreciating present Billy.
So there's one thing that's been making me giggle. So, you guys know I'm on X or Twitter or whatever the hell we want to call it, right?
Yeah.
And so I was talking to Jordan yesterday. We talked all weekend, but I was talking to him yesterday, and he was like, "See, we were talking about Twitter." I'm like, "Dude, let's talk about Twitter." I said, "I don't know what it is. It's politics, 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 boobies, boobies, boobies. Another hot girl that's not a girl. It's probably some type of AI generated whatever. Politics, politics. I hate Trump. 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 Boobies, boobies, ass, and all this." And I'm like, who creates the algorithm here, man? It's like, I mean, I don't know how this is happening. And like, how do they even, I mean, like,
That's why it's the algorithm gives you more of whatever you want.
So I took a picture today.
Late at night, I can already tell you what's happening. Late at night, he's looking at boobies during the daytime, and when he's at
No,
work,
that's
he's
not what's
stuff.
happening. So I took a picture and sent this to Jordan, and I'll show you what
Give it
he
a
sent
second.
me.
All right.
And so I was like, what is
That's
this?
Twitter or X?
Yeah.
Oh,
and so
you have
he
no
sent,
idea, David.
You can do nudity on there now?
let me finish. So he sent back, hold on a second. So he sent back, I think, hold on a second. Where's it at? Oh, here it is. And he sent back, and all I said was, yeah, I seen that girl earlier today too. So he sent back this, and I was like, I know, I seen her today too. And I'm
So
like,
I got 2 words for both of you guys. Black Twitter.
Black
That's all I'm
Twitter.
going to say.
Black Twitter.
And it has nothing to do with politics. Man, oh man.
Jody's about to become a member.
No, I'm responding right now to Michelle. So
anyway. But yeah, so I think it's
But to answer your question, David, sorry.
yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of adult content on X/Twitter/X. It's a lot of it.
dude, I reported some of them.
No.
No, granted, I'll be honest with you, I've hit on some of the midget girls because I do have a fetish. I'll be honest, I've hit on some of those. Not hit on them. I'm talking about hit the love thing, right? You guys know that I have that fetish. It's nothing I've been hiding. I've been out of the closet.
No,
for a
yeah,
long
if you've ever watched this show ever, we know.
but anyway, so I get those, but I've had some pop up, and I'm like, dude, this can't be a legal person, and I report it. I'm like, there's no way this is a person that's over the
It's
age.
got to be a child or something.
Yeah, it looks like a teenager, and you're like going, that can't be real. So I reported thousands. Well, I don't know if thousands is true, but I have reported a lot of people before. I'm that guy. I'm sorry if it's ruined the rest of you guys. I'm 50 years old, so
I don't think
something.
It looks fucking wrong, right?
Yeah, it does.
You know?
And that's the thing. I think if your spidey senses go off to the point to where it says, "Hey, I don't know if I want to watch this," 9 times out of 10, you're probably with.
Well, I don't go to any of them's profile. I've never went to anybody's profile.
No, but I'm saying like when you see it in the feed, you know.
Yeah.
Like if you skip past it, and you'd be like, "Oh, no, let me."
Yeah, I'm curious what women get, because I thought about that because I was talking to Jordan about it. I was like, "Hey, is Kelsey on it?" He goes, "No, she don't do it." I'm like, "Man, I want to find a girl that's on it and let me know what they see."
Oh, what their algorithms doing?
Yeah, what the algorithm is, because that's weird that like we have these on our side, all 3 of us. Well, when I say all 3 of us, the 2 of us definitely have X, and we've seen these crazy ass posts that pop up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious what women see on there. Like, do they see like, I don't know, some like naked dude or whatever? You know, I just wonder how they put it all together.
Jen's answered. Hers is all politics.
Oh well, I don't know what to tell you there, Jen.
Well, she's not
You're
looking
missing
at
out.
she's not looking at nudie pics.
Well, I'm not looking at nudie pics either. I told you I have not went to a single person's profile before that I'm not friends with.
I don't know what to tell you.
Because I don't want to mess up the algorithm.
It's also because, again, what are they marketing? They're trying to see what you like.
Well, all of them are almost everybody that you see. It has some type of like writing in there that looks like it's like OnlyFans or something like that. This is too, and I'm like, yeah.
And
OnlyFans.
You got a link to your Jody fans.
OnlyFans is the modern day strip club. That's all that is.
for sure. And I think with X, they're a little bit more lenient because on any other platform that I'm on, it's nothing even remotely close to it. And I could tell you, like, for instance, on Instagram, my algorithm is all barbecue, cars, and cigars. Like, there's no fluctuation.
I'm almost 100% positive mine is probably in this order, but I'm going to check real quick. I don't know why there's a black dude here, but it's all donkeys and a black dude.
That's a lot of donkeys.
I like donkeys. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
this is what I search all the time.
There's nothing wrong with donkeys.
I don't know why there's a black dude though. Let's see what he's got to say. Oh, dude, you have to watch this. This is hilarious.
Oh no, I know who that comedian is. He's hilarious.
What the? That dude looks and gets up and walks out. That's hilarious.
He's a part of a group, a threesome of comedians called the 80 South Show. Those guys are hilarious.
No doubt, no doubt.
When I tell you hilarious, oh my god.
Okay.
It's almost like, have you guys seen that Impractical Jokers?
Oh yeah.
It's like that, but
see, I saw them do a live show years ago. That was actually really funny. I wasn't sure if it was going to be.
It's funny
you
bring that up. That you said you've seen them do a live show because I watched Joe. He's doing stand up right now by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe was always my favorite person on Impractical Jokers before he left, because they couldn't like get him not to do anything. He was like, "You want me to do what? You want me to go lick the floor? I got it, man." Or whatever.
Yeah, he was the one. Yeah, you couldn't break him.
Couldn't break him. Where you have what's his name, Sal? That guy can't keep a straight face, save his life. You know. And who is it scared of kitty cats? Come on.
That's fine. Was Sal's was he the bald one?
No, that's Murr. That's Murr.
Murr.
Yeah.
Murr was my favorite. He did this one thing.
He's married to a black woman. Do you know that?
I did.
I didn't know. But
they're
doing this one where they had to like act like
he looks like the worst stereotypical white bald man of all time. He even has the little like
that one. Yeah. That too.
And he has, I mean, he's like the stereotypical white man of balding white man of all time. And he is married to a super hot black woman. like, oh my God. Like, I mean, she
likes funny guys, you know.
If you saw the two of them in a room together, you
would not think they were together, right? Because I remember when they
never make them as a couple.
They actually met via the show.
That's cool.
He had to ask her out or something like that, or it was something like that.
But he did this one sketch, and I know you're always like, oh, they're gonna get in trouble. All that. He did this one sketch where he was pretending to be like a child stalker, like hanging out in a public park. And he did with the hair and the way he's like hanging out by like swing sets and shit. I was like, someone's gonna shoot him right now because this dude looks so fucking like a child molester. I'm like, he's gonna die, but I was dying laughing the entire time.
Just like one of my favorite episodes of Big Bang Theory. One of my favorite. First off, you've never watched Big Bang Theory. You guys are idiots. That's one of the greatest shows to ever come on TV. The writing is so perfect. But there's one where Sheldon is trying to get past. Like, he doesn't like birds. He's scared of birds. But anyway, he goes to a bookstore and he's reading these children's books about birds and stuff like that. And he loves monkeys. He thinks monkeys are great. And he's a scientist. He's got 2 PhDs. He's on the spectrum for sure. And this kind of stuff. And he plays this role so well. But anyway, he sits down with this little girl named Rebecca. And Leonard, his roommate, who's so he's sitting down with this little girl, and he goes, and Leonard goes, "What are you doing, Sheldon?" He goes, "I'm sitting here with my friend Rebecca. We're trying to figure out." And he looks at her and goes, "You want to go see the monkeys sometime together?" He goes and grabs him and goes, "No." And he just picks him up and they walk out. And then he tells him, "Don't look up. Don't look up at the cameras. Don't look up at the cameras. Just keep walking."
Oh man,
That's good.
Hilarious.
But The Big Bang Theory is a good comedy show. And Practical Jokers, it's not as funny as it used to be.
Without Joe. I think
Yeah.
it was better with Joe. Like that season they were doing that when they had all the guest stars on, and he was on top of the Brooklyn Bridge in that Superman outfit with just his fat ass belly hanging out, tight ass tights and a cape, and he was on top of that tram that goes back and forth.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious.
That's
But
great.
the black comic
I'm
who
gonna
was
watch
on your
tomorrow.
phone a second ago, his name is DC Young Fly. He's actually
He's the young fly.
yeah, he's actually really funny, and he's anybody. You guys remember the original Friday with Ice Cube?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he's going to play the son of Smokey in the last Friday.
So Smokey as a kid. That seems
Yeah.
appropriate.
Yeah.
So they're doing another sequel? Is that what you're?
Well, this is going to be the last one called Last Friday because
Last Friday, yeah, because
it
it's like
was-
Friday and then another
Friday after
and
next.
Next.
Friday after next,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. it's
By the
gonna
way,
be
all
great.
the Fridays, I know that a lot of people don't like they don't like sequels as much, but I'm gonna tell you what, that Friday series is really good.
It's
Like
funny.
if you get to watching them, they're hilarious, and you think it's
Absolutely.
not going to be as good, and it is, because the guy that plays the uncle's nephew or uncle's son, and it's his and Ice Cube is the nephew, and they go stay at the
At
I don't
the
remember-
house, yeah.
yeah,
Uncle
and-
Elroy.
yeah. That is one of the that has some of the funniest scenes ever in a movie. And it is so funny because I had a friend of mine that I used to be in the military with named KD Anderson. And how we became friends is we were on the same crew, but he was this really the biggest black man I've ever seen in my life. All right. Like he barely fit in the bird. Like he was just so
You told
big.
me about this guy, yeah.
Right. And he was from Compton, California. All right.
Nice.
Like it doesn't get any more hood than that in California. Like he's in there. And every time he would come over, he would always have on a wife beater and his like skids, you know, back before they were called skids, but shower shoes with white socks on, you know, and like
Who's
some
gonna give him
shorts.
shit for it?
Right. And we would sit and watch football and stuff when we were over in Japan or wherever, right? Or Indian Ocean or whatever it might have been, right? And we're just doing stuff. And then we were downtime, we'd do this, and we'd always drink together. And he'd always bring in some Mountain Dew, a giant 2-liter thing of Mountain Dew that was spiked. And he would hammer that down. And that's how I broke off my front 2 teeth, was drinking with him. But anyway, not because he hit me. I started chewing on a can afterwards. I don't know why. My front 2 teeth are fake. But I mean, they're permanently there, but
Yeah, they were replaced.
yeah, they were replaced the next day.
Because you tried to eat a can?
Apparently. So if we circle back to about how to be a professional drunk, that was not one.
Don't eat cans, folks. Write that down.
But anyway, so after we started getting tight and hanging out and all this stuff, and one time he came to my room and we were gonna drink, and so I was sitting out in the breezeway. We lived in these things like apartments, and I was sitting out. This was in Kadena, Okinawa, and I was sitting out in the breezeway, and I had on my shower shoes with white socks, black like skivvies, skivvy shorts, silky shorts, you know, and I had on my wife beater and I had on my shower cap. Now I haven't ever had hair, so it's not like I had a whole lot of it, right? But I had on my shower cap, and I was sitting there, and I was waiting on him, and I had my 2-liter of Mountain Dew that was spiked.
Oh my god!
And we sit out there and we had a great time. And but anyway,
That's
yes.
hilarious.
What I was going to say is that movie is so close to his actual culture, the original one, that it's amazing. I mean, he talks about it all when we were used to be on the same crew together. He would talk about it all the time.
Original
Like,
Friday.
he was like,
Yeah.
"This movie's just this is how I grew up, Jody. This is how I grew up. You know, man." He's like, and of course, he threw around the N-word like it was part of his vocabulary. I'm like, I don't think we can say this in the military. He goes, we can say it. I'm like, I'm not going to say it to you, KD. You're like 3 times my size. He's like, he grabbed me, goes, I love you, man. Like that. I'm like, I feel like I'm getting ready to be molested. And I'm not going to be the big spoon. I want to be, but it's not going to happen.
Let's see what happens with this beach trip and too much drinking. You might be little spoon. We'll see.
I'm going to sleep on the beach is what it sounds like.
Well, first of all, David is smaller than me. You know this.
This is true. I am a scrawny shit.
However, I have.
I'm staying out of it. Yeah.
I've lost 40 pounds, so I'm much tinier. I'm almost built for speed.
Almost built for speed. You're getting there, except for that knee.
No, my knee's fine. It just every now and then, if I get a little crick in it, we got to stop for a moment and let me sort it out.
Yeah.
The funniest thing was I think it was last year. I took the boys. Might have been last year, year before. I think it was last year. It was last year. I took the boys down to Florida, so it was me, Ethan, Zach, and Preston. We went down to the beach. I remember taking a picture from behind them, and I was just like, we're walking to a restaurant to eat, and I took a picture, and it's like I'm not cool enough to hang with them. All three of them were together, like
way up ahead,
yards ahead of me.
The age, though,
and I'm by myself, and I'm like, this is bullshit because I'm paying for this fucking meal, and y'all can't even hang out with me, motherfuckers.
I listened to it was on Instagram, some comic. I should have sent it to you, talking about like how his kids act without evidence, like they're cooler than he is, and he's like, no, you're not cooler than me at all. Let me tell you about how cool I was before I had y'all. Basically, like you have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Well, when you talk about cool, I was talking
if
about.
I'm not cool, it's your fault.
I was talking about this maybe today or definitely this weekend. I was talking about. I was definitely talking about this weekend. I wish I was talking to Michelle about this. So one of the biggest things that I wish my children, whether it's my stepchildren or my son and all that, would have got to experience was the way I grew up. Because we didn't have cell phones. We played outside. We would get in a fucking fist fight and be best friends with somebody right that afternoon. Mm-hmm. As long as you didn't run, you would be friends forever, And we'd play football. We'd do all the stupid shit together all the time. And that was our universe, was the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? And kids don't know about that. They never had that joy. They had their cell phones.
Yeah. It almost feels like our kids have been robbed of something.
I totally agree with that. I wish. So Jonathan Haidt, he's a professor. Psychiatrist and a professor at Harvard University. I know I'm getting intellectual here, and I don't mean to. But he wrote a book. He wrote a book that's one of the best books I've ever read. It's called "Coddling of the American Mind." Plus, he also written a new one that many church groups are utilizing. I'm not trying to make this spiritual, but are utilizing it right now. It's called unattached or something like that. Unplugged. That's what it's called. And he talks about Coddling of the American Mind is fantastic. It talks about kind of like that journey I just talked about. He's from our generation. Mm. And he's going through all of these different vices that have led to the world that are in the world that have led to these phenomenons that we're seeing, whether it's an increase in social media unaliving and stuff of that nature to violent crime, to anxieties amongst teenagers or depression, all these things, and it's freaking fantastic. So if you ever get the chance to read it, I have a copy of it. So if there's anyone that's close to me that wants to read it, I do have a copy of the book. I have 2 copies of the book actually. I have actually both of them. I have both books because I'm a big fan of Jonathan Haidt. It's kind of like Jordan Peterson, one of my favorite people to read. I love intellectual individuals and love to hear their thoughts. And I got the opportunity to go see Jonathan Haidt give now he's an atheist, and I went to go see him give a lecture at David Lipscomb, and it was one of the best. I think I told you about
Lipscomb is a more religious.
No, it's a very religious school. You have to be a Church of Christ individual.
I'm just saying for people who don't know.
Yeah, you have to be a member of the Church of Christ Church and all that. If you are, you have to sign a student pledge saying you won't have intercourse and stuff. I'm like, dude, there's no way I could ever get in that school. But like I was looking at being a professor at some of these schools. I'm like, nope. Like you can't drink. Fuck that. Like I can't do that, man. Like, have you not dealt with graduate students? They're just like younger students, but with more experience in bullshit. So no, I can't do it. I love my students, all of them, whether it's undergrad or graduate, but I'm telling you, it doesn't change. It goes from high school. I will tell you the most fascinating thing that I see in my undergraduate students is the COVID time. The COVID experience really ruined a lot of students' abilities to communicate. Like when we're on, for example, when we do a Zoom class, because we were closed for some reason, probably snow or something, we did a Zoom class. And the students communicate better. They feel more comfortable to speak on camera
than they
do in person. Like I have to tell them that, to remind them, like, hey guys, you're going to pass this class. I grade really easy. You're going to pass this class. We're going to do lectures, but part of my lectures is challenging your thoughts. Let's have conversations, have discourse, and stuff of that nature. And discourse, sorry. And let's talk about those hard subjects to talk about, and all that. And it's hard to get them into it. My undergraduate. Now, my graduate students, much different. They will get into conversations with you, but then they want the easy way. Like, so tell me what answers are going to be, or what questions are going to be on the test. I'm like, no. Like, it's in the book.
Yeah, they're here they're trying to game everything, right?
Yeah.
Like they're here to get to the end. They just want the thing that's going to give them the thing they want, which is the degree.
Right.
Everything
almost every
utilitarian about it, right? Just what do I got to do?
I won't say most. All of my graduate students are professionals in some other field.
Yeah.
So they need that. They need that MBA, or they need that MSML.
Right. They're trying to check a box here, right?
Yeah, and I agree with you on that, Jody, because even here, so the youngest we have is 13. And I've told my wife, and I love saying this, I said, stop the hand holding. He's 13. He's 13. So for me,
I had to have that conversation with my mom earlier today. She gave money to Preston because he's going on a trip next week to Cozumel or Cancun or something. I don't know. And he asked me for money. I was like, nope. And he goes, why, Dad? I go, my mom never gave me anything. So he calls her Granny, and fucking Granny just opens up her checkbook.
Of course he does.
I'm like, that's bullshit, Mom.
Say what you will about Cosby, but he had some funny jokes back in the day talking about
Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Oh, Bill Cosby's one of the greatest entertainers of all time.
His parents,
just had a problem with getting people drunk, and
it's like now that he did all that, but his bit about my parents are they never treated me that way. It's like what you see now is old people who are trying to get into heaven, and that's why they dote on the grandkids, So yeah, they go to grandma again. Yeah. It's utilitarian. Oh, go to dad. Dad told me to pound sand, get a job. Right?
I did.
Went to grandma. Grandma gave me what I wanted. He's gonna go to grandma next time. He's gonna skip you next time.
Even to the point, I know this has nothing really to do with the show, but when I cook, I don't serve the kid. There's the plates. There's the food. You know where the silverware is at. You're 13. He's nearly as tall as me. I'm not gonna serve you a plate and put it on the table for you.
Yeah.
You're 13 years old.
You know what to do.
Well, Preston's bigger than me. He kind of tells me what to do now. So just playing. I'm just playing. But no, he's funny. He's like that. He'll call me. He's like, he called me just a little while ago. He lives here, okay? But he called me just a little while and he goes like, hey, Dad, I'm getting ready to work out with my buddies. I need to know what kind of workout to do. I'm like, dude, at this point, I think I'm taking lessons from you. I've taught you everything I can at this point. Like, just get in there and do what you have to do. He's like, well, you're really strong, Dad. And I'm like, I get that. I'm 50 years old and I'm still strong at my age. I get that. But I'm not turning the heads of anybody on the beach. You can't walk down. I mean, you can't even put a shirt on half the time anyhow because you don't want to, Like he drives around his little Challenger, black Challenger with his tinted windows and all that. He rolls them all down. Like other day, he showed up.
As he's driving around.
No, here's the thing. There was 2 inches of snow on the ground. Our roads had just cleaned up. And he was like, yeah, I'll be back in a little bit. He comes back. I swear to everything holy. He come rolling up, listen to Alice in Chains. By the way, that's good parenting.
Yeah.
Listen to Alice in Chains. And he had his windows down with his shirt off. I'm like
he's allergic to shirts.
I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I think the ladies like it better when I drive without a shirt on, Dad. I'm like, I understand what you're saying, dude. I get it. I totally get it. But at the same time, you realize there's still snow. That white stuff, that's called snow.
You're going to have pneumonia.
Man, What the hell's wrong with you, son?
Man, that is too fucking funny.
Oh man.
But I hope that tonight, as we're closing out, that we hit the high points of professional. When we say professional, being a pro at having, I think the biggest thing, I guess we're going to say, if we had to circle back and hit all the high points, one is hydrate. Hydrate's the biggest thing. Two is know your limits. There's no reason to try to compete with anybody. And on top of that, if you're with some friends, why not just drink like socially? I mean, that's what I like to do. It's what me and Billy did. I mean, we did have one night where we went a little crazy. You know, it had a little bit of fun. We were outside till like 3 o'clock in the morning on the back porch. It was warm, and we were drunk as all get out. But we were both up at 6 o'clock doing chores.
Yeah, we were.
There you go. Because what? Because you're professionals. That's why.
Right.
And if I can,
that's why I stay in on New Year's Eve and all like St. Patrick's Day. Like I don't go out on those days because it's amateur night, right? Like that's where all the amateurs are out, and they're gonna.
On top of that, I'm not trying to go to jail.
DUIs and get into fucking fights in the bar and shit. I don't need all that noise,
And that's what I was.
That's all I mean by being a professional. Is just being like mature about it, really, and planning ahead.
I ain't trying to go to jail, man. I really.
And that was.
Seriously,
I think
that sounds like a bad time.
I think that was going to be my final thoughts on drinking as a professional. There's nothing wrong with taking an alternate way home. Most apps that cater to your Lyfts and your Ubers and whatnot. Hell, even if you call a cab and you are really too intoxicated to drive, don't try to be a hero. Just
no, because the worst side of that would be that you kill somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, and it's unfortunate because that happened here last weekend where a girl from Venezuela was in town. Mm-hmm. She was going to school here at FIU. Her car had broke down on the side of the road. And a guy leaving South Beach ran into her at 100+ miles an hour. He hit her so hard from the back, it ejected her from the car.
Wow.
And she died on the scene.
So I don't talk about this much, and this has nothing to do with alcohol, but the worst incident that I have ever worked as a police officer, because many of you guys
told me about that accident on 65, right?
So it was on 65 South, just past Highway 96, right there in Franklin. And I remember passing the car earlier in the day. There was a car on the side of the road that was off the road, right? And it was, I don't remember what type of vehicle it was. I couldn't even tell you today what kind it was, but it had already been tagged by Tennessee Highway Patrol to be towed. All right. And I'm not going to mention names or anything, but it's hard for me to even talk about this because it's one of my PTSD moments. But the kid that was driving was 17 years old. He was coming back from a school function, and he was driving an older model car, but a big car, like a big metal car, not one of these plastic new cars, right?
Yeah.
And he was a mixed child. That doesn't mean anything to this other than I'm just trying to give you the description.
Get the picture.
Right.
Sure.
And he was driving down the road, and he went to change a CD, and he changed the CD. And as he was going, by the way, something we don't do anymore is change CDs. But he was changing a CD. And as he changed the CD, it fell to the floor. So he unbuckled his seatbelt to get over to reach down, pick it up.
Oh,
and as he did, he leaned over like this, and he hit that parked car at 70, we'll say 70, 75 miles an hour. All right. It immediately ejected him out of the car. He went through the windshield. And I mean, I've seen all this. It happened in front of me. Like it literally happened in front. I was first officer on the scene. And anyway, the car came down on top of him and slid on top of him a good 200, 300 feet or more until it hit the, on the side of the roads here in Tennessee. I'm sure they're everywhere, but they have the little things on the outside the fog line to let you know that you're outside the fog line, like that.
Yeah.
It created enough friction to pop the car off of him. Now, again, he was not drunk. All right. He did not do anything wrong at all. And I remember, blocking off the highway with my patrol car, lights on, and all this stuff. And I got out and I ran over to the kid. He stood up. All right. He had a hole. You could see his brain. Like it was horrible. You could see a hole in his head. And it looked like the Terminator. He had part of his arm right here that was completely open. You can see all of his tendons. And I just grabbed him and held him. And we sat down, and I think he was obviously in shock. And he kept saying over and over, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm like, you're not going to die. I promise you, man. You're not going to die. And I have all this brain stuff going all over me and blood and all this stuff. And I'm sitting there holding him. And of course he did expire. But what I remember the most out of all of that, and the reason why I'm telling this story, is that an incident can happen at any point. But what I remember the most is the smells of that night. And then I remember hearing people complaining that the interstate was shut down because they landed a helicopter and he expired on the road.
Right.
And I was the last one with him on Earth, right before he passed on. So my only point to that is that if you ain't got it, if you don't have to drive, first of all, if it costs me $200 to drive home from Uber, let's just say they molest the hell out of me and it costs me $200.
It's never going to be that bad, first of all. But
well, I know, but just say hypothetically, I get that guy, the Taliban guy, all right, and he's gonna molest me, all right, and I'm gonna drive home that way. First of all, it did cost me $79 one time from BNA to come out here in the country. They were like, "Holy fuck, I'm adding charges. I'm gonna get shot." You know what I'm saying? But if it's ever gonna be that way, you know, the thing to do is just don't do it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. That's been one of my harder lessons to learn because I've never really had any bad consequences from that.
Yeah,
but like,
you don't want it to be that.
Don't want to roll the dice anymore.
Yeah,
I'm aware I've done it too many times, and I have lucked up, and I don't think I got any more example
with the accident that I was talking about. The guy, he identified where he came from and who served him. And I think a day or two later, they actually went back and arrested the bartender.
Yeah, I mean, you can ruin a lot of people's lives in one moment. So if there's, I mean, first of all, as you guys, we do this whole show because we love to have drinks, all right?
Yeah.
And so we're not sitting here trying to tell you that what you can and can't do, but we're trying to tell you is that, you know, the world is difficult at times. And as it's difficult, don't make it even more difficult, you know?
Sure. Feel that.
So if you want to know how to have a drink like a pro, if you're going on a trip and you don't have to drive, don't drive. That doesn't mean get in the car with someone else who's drinking,
right?
And drive. What it means if you don't have to drive and everything you can do can be done by Uber. By the way, down in Panama City, there ain't no place going to cost you more than $8 with a full car full of people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I remember every single time that I was down there with the boys. And we were Ubering everywhere. And the reason why, I should give the backstory. I wasn't like I was liquored up down there. My truck is 7 foot tall.
It's too fucking big for the parking spot at your condo.
The parking garage is 7 foot 2 inches.
Yeah.
So
it's a nightmare. That's why we're flying. Which to get to that, we should wrap up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can figure out
peace
that
out.
stuff. Yeah. Peace out, everyone. Be safe. Drink responsibly. And hydrate, right? And but make sure you have a good time, enjoy it with good friends, you know, and celebrate those moments, right? But anyway, yeah, I am going to close it out, and we're going to go to the after show, and we're going to talk about drinking fucking more. So,
all right, guys, be good to yourselves.
Celebrate those moments, right? But anyway, all right.
Sorry, I was loving our page.
You know what? I sounded great. Honestly, is where I went with it. Anyway, you guys take it easy. Till next time.